Now, let's have a little reminder about this case. Gosh, I don't really want to put her picture up. Let's see. I've got a picture of the victim somewhere. So these people up in the left-hand corner there, this was Don and Heather. Don, Heather, and oh gosh, the other name now is so it's Heather. Heather is the third lady along. She died, unfortunately. Her husband Ian, who's on the far right of the photo, not on the far right, on the far right of the photo, he survived, didn't he? He was Heather's husband. He survived, and Don and Gail. The first two people on that picture, they died. And this was the mushroom murder trial. So Erin Patterson, who I've put in the, let's have a look at her hellhole. I've put her in the hellhole because she invited them round to lunch. She prepared individual beef Wellingtons that were laced with death cap mushrooms, and three of them suffered an agonizing death from the poison and the poisonous mushrooms, and Ian Wilkinson was the only person who survived. So we've recently gone through Erin's trial. It took ages. It went on and on and on, didn't it? And anyway, to cut a long story short, I mean, there's all the videos are on my channel. If you've not heard of this case and you're interested in it, if you Google not Google, but if you look on my channel and search for mushroom murders or Erin Patterson, all the playlist, there's playlist of the trial, playlist of what happened, lots of videos. Anyway, finally, she was found guilty, thankfully. There was overwhelming evidence against her. Not one thing in particular, but the prosecution called over 50 witnesses to speak for the prosecution. This was the prosecution lawyer, Dr. Nanette Rogers, and she called over 50 witnesses with all incriminating evidence against Erin, which again, I'm not going to go through all of it, but bear in mind that her defense lawyer, Colin Mandy, he only called one witness, and that was Erin herself. There were no character witnesses called. There was no experts called to defend Erin. Nanette Rogers, she called many expert witnesses, and it was all damning evidence against Erin. Another person who spoke, of course, because he survived, don't forget, Ian Wilkinson survived. He's the only survivor. He had to have a transplant. He was ill for months. He survived. He testified. That Erin gave them different colour plates to the one she gave herself, that Erin lied and said she had cancer. That was the excuse that she gave to get them all to go there for lunch. They ate the lunch, they sat and prayed for her. She watched them eat every mouthful of that lunch, and then she sat there and let them pray for her because she told them she had cancer, but she didn't have cancer. So anyway, she was such a liar, wasn't she? It was lie after lie after lie. And she... But of course, she said that she wasn't lying now. So although she did all those other lies, like the cancer, and she said she didn't have a food dehydrator, and I could be here all day talking about the lies that woman told. But her defense was, she told, yes, she told all those lies, but she's not lying now. She didn't kill them. So anyway, the jury saw right through her. She was found guilty, and she was given a minimum of 33 years to serve without parole, which a lot of people were angry about because she should have life without parole. So really 33 years for murdering 3 people. That's only 11 years each, isn't it? And then nothing for trying to murder Ian. Also, it seems apparent that she often, I'll say often, maybe 3 or 4 times, tried to kill her estranged husband, Simon. She's not a good person. But anyway, that was never taken to court. I think the prosecution dropped those cases again for trying to attempted murder of Simon, because they felt like they had the better case of the murder of Don, Gail, and Heather, and the attempted murder of Ian. So those cases were dropped, and she's not been held accountable for trying to murder Simon, though it seems apparent that she probably did. Now, the thing about Erin is she's a moneybags, isn't she? She's got loads of money. So she can afford a legal team. She's got properties. Anyway, so basically what I'm here to tell you is she is appealing. She's going to appeal. Because we've been waiting for this, because she had so long to register an appeal. There's been a lot of talk about whether she would or not, but she is going to. And of course, there's also been talk that maybe the prosecution will launch an appeal asking for a longer sentence. Most people think 33 years and then the chance of parole, even though I know she'll be old because she's 50 now, so she'll be in her 80s. But, she'll still have a chance at life, won't she? These people, they had their golden years taken away from them. They were either retired or approaching retirement. They should have, they were God-fearing people, they were church-going, they were lovely people. They did nothing but help Erin in her trials and tribulations when she split up from Simon, her husband, is their relative. Gail and Don are Simon's mum and dad. Heather was Gail's sister, so it was Simon's auntie, and Ian was Heather's husband. Is, because he's still alive. So, really, it just seemed like a pathetic sentence, I thought, to give her any chance at parole. These poor people, they were doing nothing but good in their life. They were good people. They were going to church. They were helping Erin. Ian is a pastor. And when you see them talking, you can just tell they're just decent people, and she got annoyed with them, because she wanted them on her side. I mean, the other thing that Erin did when she came into all the money that she came into, she lent money to relatives of Simon's, and that's a form of control, isn't it? She lent them money to buy houses, and I think then she would have wanted practically blood from them in loyalty and whatever. And she got annoyed with the family because she felt they weren't sticking up for her enough in her estrangement from Simon. And she's, nasty, snidey person. And she planned this. She planned killing these old vulnerable people who should have been enjoying their retirement, etc. Probably worked all their life, supported her, probably supported her and Simon when they needed it as well, financially and emotionally. And then because she was annoyed that she felt they weren't supporting her enough, she, came up with this murder plan. And it was planned. It was planned. And what I'll never be able to get over is she sat there and watched them eat those death cap mushrooms, knowing that when they left that table, they were dead people walking. She said goodbye to them knowing. Anyway, then she concocted this big thing, big story about, one minute she'd never been foraging for mushrooms and she got them from an Asian supermarket. Then it was, oh, well, yeah, I did go foraging for mushrooms. I must have got them mixed up. Then it was, no, I've never had a food dehydrator. And then when the police found the dehydrator at the dump, oh, yeah, I did have a dehydrator, but I just panicked. Just lie after lie after lie. Anyway, So she's apparently going to appeal. So let's have a look. Just wanted to let you know that. I don't think she's actually done it yet, but they're saying that she's planning on appealing. And in her defence now, she's apparently going to employ a human rights lawyer. Honest to God, when I saw that, I just thought, a human rights lawyer. You know, what did she care about her victims' human rights? Makes me really angry, you know. Anyway, let's see this video.
Will appeal her convictions. She was revealed first to this breaking news. Triple murderer Erin Patterson will appeal her convictions. That was revealed, I should say, during an administrative hearing at Victoria's Supreme Court, where Jack Nyhoff is standing by for us. Jack, do we know what the grounds for appeal are?
Good morning to you, Laura. A very brief mention in the Supreme Court of Victoria. Those documents have not yet formally been lodged, so it's unclear at this stage what grounds the legal team will be applying for that appeal, but confirmation from legal representatives today in court that they will be seeking to appeal that jury verdict which convicted Erin Patterson as a murderer. Now, there was 3 counts of murder during that hearing and 1 count of attempted murder. Of course, she was sentenced to life in prison, 33 years non-parole for that, which means she won't get out of prison at this stage until she's in her 80s. That's when she'll be able to apply to be let out. So very few details at this stage that we do know, but we know for a fact that there's a 28-day extension now that she and her legal team will be able to, of course, apply for that appeal, Laura.
Jack, thank you.
So
the communications regulator will investigate whether...
Are we going to have to go for... I mean, I just feel for Ian and the family of the victims, because are they going to have to go through it all again? Anyway, so a new lawyer apparently has represented Australians facing the death penalty overseas, and they come into the triple murderers legal team as the high-profile killer gets set to appeal. So this guy's name is Julian McMahon. He's reportedly working on her conviction appeal as a new deadline to challenge the verdict looms in 1 month. Mr. McMahon is a companion of the Order of Australia and a senior counsel, and counts the heroin smuggling ringleaders of the Bali Nine among his highest profile defendants. An anti-death penalty campaigner, Mr. McMahon has received the Victoria Law Foundation Distinguished Pro Bono Service Award. So there he is. He's the guy who's going to be working on Erin's defence. Hi, ACW. I'm just having a look to see. I don't think I've missed anybody else coming in. Oh, David's back. I'm still here. I'm still live, and David's back. I hope you're okay. How did you get on? Oh, it was just for bloods. Okay. Who's this? Howard. Hi, Howard. Hello, Canada. So, what do we think? Oh, gosh, are we going to have to, this is how I feel. Are we going to have to go through all this again? God knows how the poor family of the victims feels and how Ian Wilkinson feels. So, in Australia's biggest criminal trial in decades, Patterson was found guilty earlier this year of murdering Don and Gail Patterson and Heather, and the attempted murder of Ian with a poisoned meal of beef Wellington. I mean, what are the grounds that they're going to appeal on? I mean, I just don't know what grounds they're going to appeal on. But anyway, last month she was sentenced to life in prison with a 33-year non-parole period, and in the Supreme Court of Victoria on Thursday, another of her lawyers confirmed that she intended to appeal the convictions, and the deadline to appeal was pushed out to November the 3rd. In the absence of official paperwork, her grounds for appeal remain unclear. So at the 11-week trial this year, Colin Mandy led Patterson's defence, and now Mr McMahon has reportedly been enlisted. So here are these poor people, Don and Gail Patterson. They should be out, doing their thing with their grandchildren, and just enjoying their, as I say, their golden years, their twilight years, or whatever. They were teenage sweethearts. They died within a couple of days of each other. It may have even been one day of each other, and at least they're together now, hopefully together in heaven. Certainly nice people who never did any harm to anybody, did not deserve what happened to them, and I hope they are together, bless them. In the meantime, she's having an appeal. And then, of course, we've got Heather, who died, and Ian, he made that very impassioned statement saying about how all the pottering around the house wasn't the same now because Heather wasn't there. They've been married for years as well. Ian's not a man who's ever been on his own. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've been a couple for years and years and years. And now he's got to be single. At his age, he doesn't want to be single. And also in the circumstances, he only just recovered. The thing is, he received a transplant, a liver transplant, because those death cap mushrooms, they kill you slowly. They strangle your vital organs. And so Ian was lucky, I suppose you could look at it that way, that he was healthy enough to have a transplant, and it worked. Though he's still obviously, he was ill for a long time, and he's still not 100%. He'll never be 100%. And but the thing is, Heather was too ill to have a transplant. Her liver died inside her. That is what this woman did to these people. It's a cruel, horrible, prolonged, painful death, and they knew they were going to die. And then the hospital had to put them in a coma, and only Ian came out of it. And then Don, he did receive a transplant. He was considered well enough to have a transplant, but unfortunately he did not survive. And Don actually ate more probably of the meal than anybody, because Gail Patterson, his wife, she only ate half of this beef Wellington, and Don finished off the other half. But anyway, he was given a transplant, but unfortunately he died anyway. Whereas Gail, the same as Heather, was considered too ill to even be given a transplant. So, both these ladies were just too ill. And in the meantime, evil Erin presented at the hospital, didn't she? Said she had a little bit of diarrhea. They're dying in hospital with severe symptoms of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, etc., pain, their vital organs, being strangled by this horrible poison. And, but not Erin. No, she just had a little bit of diarrhea. She was at the hospital 5 minutes, and as soon as they mentioned death cap mushrooms, it was suspected death cap mushroom poison. She was off. So you imagine going to hospital and people telling your relatives that you had over for lunch are dying or on death's door, and you might be the next because you ate the same meal apparently as they did. You go, I've just got to go home and sort out my daughter's ballet bag. That's what she said. I mean, it's ludicrous. She went into this panic. She wanted to go home and hide evidence. I bet she could not. She thinks she's so superior, Erin, so clever. I bet she could not believe it when they actually mentioned death cap mushrooms to her, and she realised that they were onto her. And literally they told her that she may need a transplant too. And she just said, oh, I've got to go and sort my daughter's bally bag out and sort the animals out. Anyway, then she didn't answer phone calls from the doctor. So the doctor, he phoned the police because he was that worried about her, though he now says that he thought that she was a sociopath. He thought instantly she was guilty. And of course, he got into trouble for that. He's been reprimanded. Anyway, off she went. She went back a little while later, and then they said, look, we need your children in as well, because Erin has 2 children. They were supposedly had eaten the leftovers from this lunch. Erin was reluctant to take her children to the hospital. Could you imagine that? So your relatives are on death's door because of a meal that you've cooked that your children's already eaten. And the hospital say to her, look, we need to give your children a check over, and you don't want to take them. Come on. Just as clear as day, isn't it? It's crystal clear that this woman is guilty. So anyway, Mr. McMahon, as well as representing the Bali 9 ringleaders, was in a Singapore prison the day his client, Melbourne man, Van Tuong Nguyen, was hanged in 2005. And in an interview with ABC in 2001, Mr. McMahon described he and his colleagues' work as looking after people who no one else really wants to defend. Yeah, well, nobody will want to defend Erin, that's for sure. The thing is, they have to have defence. I know that. That's the bedrock of our democracy, isn't it, as far as court cases are concerned? Everyone's innocent till proven guilty, and everyone's entitled to a defence. And I suppose if he likes to defend murderers and drug dealers, that's his prerogative, isn't he? And he's against the death penalty. But do you know what? When he goes high west side, when he goes to foreign countries like Singapore, Singapore, they don't mess about, do they? Not only they've got the death penalty, they do it quite quickly as well. It's not like in America where you can be years and years on death row. They don't mess about. And I personally don't agree with the death penalty either. But I think if you're going to do it, then do it quickly, get it over with. Don't leave it it's just flashing up now on Sky News that one of the victims at the synagogue died after being accidentally shot by the police. I'll look at that in a minute when I finish with this. That's a shame, isn't it? Oh my God, I'll have a look at that in a moment. Oh, how awful. But you saw how that those people were just hanging around when the police were trying to contain the suspect. That'd be awful for the police person as well, won't it? Because to know that they've killed an innocent person by mistake. Anyway. So yeah, while he wasn't in court on Thursday, Mr. McMahon has successfully argued appeals in the past. He got Akon Guadi's 26.5-year sentence with 20 years non-parole brought down to 18 years with a 14-year minimum. And that woman murdered her twin 4-year-olds, killed her 16-month-old, and attempted to murder her 5-year-old child. Oh, sorry, I can't go along with that at all. Oh my God, 18 years for murdering 3 children and attempting to murder another one. Oh my God, what's going on in Australia, for fuck's sake? Sorry, I could have, it's just wrong. The case was argued and appealed all the way to the High Court, although Mr. McMahon represented Guadi at the Supreme Court stage. So, having been found guilty and sentenced in the Supreme Court, Patterson will be hoping her case is taken to the Court of Appeal. Once her lawyers file a notice of appeal, the Court of Appeal will decide whether to hear the case. So this particular article, they say they've attempted to contact Mr. McMahon, but their attempts have been unsuccessful, and his office declined to confirm his involvement with Patterson. So I don't know. There you go. So I wanted to tell you